We have come to the point in Team Fortress 2 where Valve has officially started banning the bots that plagued the game for over half a decade. This would later become so significant that even cheat sellers have encouraged caution to their users to avoid them getting banned from the game. If it's true that the game is actively banning bots now, does this mean that the hashtag SaveTF2 movement has finally been accomplished? And to that I say, the battle is far from over yet. Whoa, talk about a very controversial video. But anyways, this video contains video game cheating, of course. So if you're a fist political diehard TF2 fan, do not watch the video, because I don't want you throwing slurs in my comment sections. That doesn't really help anybody. It doesn't really affect me either, because come on.
I like 16-year-old girls! Don't stop,
After you find out what the community is and what the rest of the community does to you for being a cheater, you start to feel like,
I don't want to play TF2 anymore.
but you can just not play TF2. That's not how all of this works. And it doesn't even matter how slick you are with your cheating. Enemy cheaters out there have this thing called the Playerlist, also known as how to hold a ridiculously petty grudge, is a feature all cheats have, and it goes like, I don't know who this blank guy is, but since I've set him at priority 1, he's gonna have done something bad to me at some point. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna kill him. I guess now's the time to know that cheaters are incredibly hostile against each other. Other cheaters can mark anybody in the server, and that mark lasts forever. This means that it doesn't really matter how friendly you are, they will still know who you are and what you are. And be aware that these guys are close-minded as heck. It doesn't matter how much you've told them that you don't really want any trouble, they don't really care. They like to have an excuse to bully you. This doesn't only apply to cheaters, but legits as well. So yeah, don't go pissing off cheaters unless you want them ruining your casual games for life. Although, some cheaters do like to take their power tripping a little too far. This guy's dominating me. He's so annoying. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna remember him. I'm gonna remember his friends. I'm gonna kill his family. I'm gonna kill everything. And at one point, I even stooped low enough to enter this thing called HvH. This is where cheaters somehow found a way to make their hacks compete with one another. I know, it's kind of an incomplete description of what HvH actually is, but I don't really want to talk about what that is. Though what I'd like to point out is how racist the people in this community are, and guess what? I happen to be part of it. I'm not gonna go super in detail about this part, but basically I became a racist and a homophobe. I lost a lot of friends, I lost a lot of people that I could never win back, I had almost nobody in my school, and I was super lonely. Maybe it was just because I was young back then, but I thought it was cool. I thought it was funny throwing around slurs and everything. When I first started cheating, all I wanted to do was try the Antibackstab cheat, but look at how deep I've fallen. Toxicity in cheating will find a way to seep into your life, and it doesn't matter if you think you're strong enough to resist it. Because you're not. I thought I was, but I'm not. Why is it that TF2 has a way larger cheating player base compared to other games like CS2 or Valorant? Now I know you'll say, what are you talking about? Valve banned all the bots, and I don't really see a lot of cheaters in my game. Well, as I said, there's a lot of things most people don't really see. And I am not most people. I am somebody with my own player list as well. And of course, I can see through walls, but like... And after 4 years of marking every cheater I see with priority 10, and as I was taking footage for this video, they're still here, man. I don't know. Oh my god, he's in! What? He actually got to join. Wait, this is interesting. How is he not priority 10? What? TF2 is the type of game where its class-based gameplay and mechanics allow legit players to kill even the most blatant of cheaters. And guess what? That's what the cheater wants. It gives life to cheating where it doesn't just get as boring as ripping off everyone's heads, such as in games like CSGO. Cheating extends your number of ways to play the game, where you could be a funny troll messing around with the cloak and dagger spies.
I am the spy.
Or you could mess around with retreating players by killing them through the walls.
Bro.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Okay.
Or you could be an engineer and effortlessly sneak in through the enemy's base every single time.
That wasn't even close.
Cheating complements your creativity by extending your ability to exploit the game. Though that's not applicable to all cheaters, some of them really just want to be assholes. When people say aimbot, they like to think, oh wow, he is flicking. He's gotta be using aimbot. But that's actually just 1% of what aimbot really is. If someone's really trying to not have anybody know that they're cheating, they have so many options to keep their aimbot very subtle to the enemy team. The clip playing right now may not have visible hacks, but it is actually cheated. You'd be surprised to know how smooth aimbot actually works very well in the game and how customizable it is. And that's what aimbot is. It's a set of tweakable settings that allow you to automatically aim at the enemy's head at however fashion you like, giving you an unfair advantage. Smooth aim, silent aim, not silent aim, ignore invis spies, ignore bonked scouts, adjust your aim FOV, turn off aimbot when somebody's spectating you, etc, etc. And of course, yes, cheaters will use aimbot with caution, because if not used properly, this one is pretty obvious to spot. But then again, some casual lobbies happen to still be very gullible when it comes to shit like this, as they allowed me to go on a rampage with full aimbot Widowmaker.
Your turn, your turn!
Go crazy, go stupid! Oh shit!
Oh my god! And then we have Projectile Aimbot. Yes, this thing is real. And it really just depends on what cheat you're using to see if it kicks ass. Because some cheats can have a, let's just say, very mediocre projectile aimbot. This clip shows how stupid it can get, cause like, what kind of projectile aimbot algorithm aims at a wall? No one gives a shit if I'm going full on pipe god as a demo in a casual lobby. Although I do get callouts as a direct hit soldier, but fuck it man. I hope you get what I'm trying to say, that everyone really needs to start being skeptical of casual gods. Because if it's too good to be true, then it might actually just be too good to be true. I was even able to go on a 60 kill streak as an aimbot direct hit soldier, which itself is already pretty blatant by the way, but still, nobody bothered to call me out. And maybe you can say that this lobby was just a little too oblivious, but come on, 2 crits in a row with 60 kill streak? Really? Now, the crit streak helps cover up how blatant you are because a fully crit explosive class is bound to hail destruction anyways. But having full control of your aim will make you discover that some weapons really just aren't designed to be crits.
No way! You're evil, you're evil! You're actually the most evil person in the world! No way!
You tend to be in a lot of trouble when your aimbot shoots the wrong guy. This usually happens when the guy you're trying to kill died as soon as your aimbot started looking for somebody to shoot. And the nearest guy from your crosshair happens to be somewhere unrealistic. And of course, contrary to popular belief, having hacks can leave you at a disadvantage sometimes. I'm going to spark your inner trust issues here. When someone gets a very convenient random crit on a group of people, or when it conveniently turns around a one-sided 1v1, just know that forcing crits are not an uncommon thing in cheats, and is usually the only reason why cheaters use them. We cheaters don't necessarily have to use crit hacks all the time, but oh boy, when the time calls for it, you sure can guarantee that we get the best of it.
Yo, Mint, do you mind getting out of the way because I'm trying to... Oh,
I don't need to.
The fact that Valve is allowing an exploit where you can just triple your damage anytime you want in the game sounds incredibly ridiculous.
oh my god! What the...
And if you also happen to piss off a cheater, just don't be surprised when he forces a crit on you every time. Having the ability to force any crit you want would later tell you just how ridiculous TF2 items really are. Like how badly the 3rd-degree counters to cocky medics that hide behind one player. Or how you can theoretically taunt lock somebody forever using the holiday punch. Who the hell needs a crit screen medic anyways when you can just be your own crit screen medic and force out any crit you want? The enemy team was just about to capture the last point until I decided to dump my entire crit bucket on the enemy team with my sticky launcher. Remember when LazyPurple said how devastating critical stickies are? Yeah, he wasn't wrong about that one. Alright, let's get into Triggerbot. If there's a key input for something to be done in the game, there's most likely a Triggerbot feature for that. It is a very common saying that most legit cheaters use Triggerbot instead of Aimbot, and I think you'd be surprised to hear that no, this is not necessarily true for most cases. One might argue to turn on Auto Air Blast for the superior pyro experience, but you'll soon realize that accidentally air blasting a random projectile can leave you vulnerable for the following attacks, as your air blast has a very sizable end lag. It's also important to note that air blasting is a TF2 mechanic that needs your skill to work. It's not just as simple as reflecting projectiles. It can go down as to knowing why you reflected that projectile, and knowing what to do after the reflect, and knowing what happens after the reflect regardless of what happens. If you ask me, I'd rather know what the fuck I'm doing in a reflect than be caught off guard by my own cheat, because if my hacks tend to miss, then oh my goodness, oh well, my hacks tend to miss. And of course, auto air blast can be a little blatant sometimes. And by the way, no matter what kind of cheat you use, nothing will ever escape TF2's messed up registration system. So we know that cheaters have a lot of hacks. Now the question is, what cheat gives you the most advantage? Like for example, in Minecraft PvP, the most powerful hacks would be Reach and Aimbot, because it really is your only source of advantage, as you need to hit your opponents to deal damage. Now how about in TF2? We've got a variety of choices here. We got Aimbot, the Crithacks, the fake lag? Is it a Backtrack? But actually it's the Wallhacks.
Huh?
Now, let me explain. A lot of people like to underestimate just how important information is. In this clip, I was 1v1ing this soldier, and I already have half HP, meaning one shot from this guy could instantly kill me. I play around him based on what I see through the walls to get some sneaky shots behind him. Had this been a different situation where I couldn't see where he was looking, I would have charged to my death as soon as I peeked this angle. It won't even matter how strong my aimbot is when it just takes one shot of that cow mangler to kill me. Information is so important that you're always at an advantage for every encounter you get. There's so many things happening in a casual TF2 match, and your average casual team can only take care of so much of their weaknesses. Like this undefended tunnel for example, they're just allowing us to scale in and snipe anybody from this angle. Weaknesses like these exist in every casual TF2 match, and the information we get on our wall hacks allow us to acknowledge it and exploit it. You could be in the dumbest of places, but as long as you have the information, you're pretty much safe wherever you go. In this clip, I was able to take advantage about the fact that these NGs are stacked against each other and there's a sentry in front of it, so I let the sentry kill its own owner, and of course sentry dance the whole thing. I managed to last around a few more minutes in this place, and it's because I know who's coming and I know which fights to pick. ESP is more of a defense type of cheat, and you know what they say, the best defense is never a bad offense. And what use would there be of your offense cheat if you don't know where the hell your enemies are? Coordinate this information with your teammate and you could be getting the best uber pushes in your life. In this clip, I urged my friend to switch to explosive resistance because I know that there's a soldier coming up, and it actually ended up paying off as it mitigated 90% of the damage I took in that fight. Most of the cheaters we have are not so bad at playing the video game. Surprisingly, they are still human beings with brains. No matter how much you call them brain dead, they still have the capability to make decisions based on what they see on their screen. If a cheater has like 50 more kills than the second teammate, it's actually not the aimbot doing that, but the information he gets through his wall hack. Because to kill an enemy, the first step to doing so is actually finding them. And remember when I said that casual lobbies have a lot of weaknesses? That includes the free kills that are just lurking around the corners. Like this medic for example, which happened to also be a gateway for this amazing quadruple kill. And this is what I like to do. I don't know if others do this, but I like to play around the objective and fish for these free kills that I'm almost always guaranteed to win. Because if I play in the objective, like, come on, bear with me for a sec. What am I supposed to see here? It's so cluttered. There's just so many things happening. And I know you just, oh, you're just configuring your visuals wrong. No. No. To be honest, I just get pissed when this conglomeration of enemy teams show up in my screen. So you know what I do. Oh! So what's the point of me telling you all of this? What I'm trying to say is that for how unfair ESP is, it's so much of a problem that it's quite undetectable. In fact, most legit cheaters actually only use some form of wall hacks. No aimbot, no whatsoever. This would later be very difficult to detect because, come on, TF2 itself already gives us the dumb advantage to know who is in the other side of the wall. This sound effect says that this game is very generous with its information. If used correctly, e.g. not pre-firing enemies through walls, a player with ESP can be the sole reason for winning the entire game or having them top frag in a scoreboard. Interestingly enough, in a game like TF2, you don't need to kill a lot of people to be an effective asset to the team. It doesn't matter if I don't have any other hacks like aimbot or whatever. If I know where they are in the map, I can just use my very mediocre aim and decision making skills to win the duel. Or I could just run away if they clearly counter me. Oh yeah, I know TF2 gives us the option to see how much damage we do to our foes, but it's so much different when you know how much health they currently have. And I could go on to tell you all the info ESP can give us, but then I'd be going on forever just with how customizable this thing is. Like there's this cheat, right, that I've been using for a total of 2 years now, and to this day, I still don't get how it works. Like, look at this! What is this? Fucking MVM money or Halloween pumpkins and shit. Even sniper eyesight. And do I really need to explain how funny it is to dodge snipers because of this thing? Like, you could be just in the middle of a random firefight and then... If someone were to face that in the game, they'd probably just say they were lagging.
How could this happen?
Allow me to explain what this is. This is called dash. It's when the cheat squeezes in just a little bit of speed hack, enough to make you teleport to whatever direction you want. As silly as this might sound, this is actually one of the most advantageous features that any cheat can provide, because situations that call for dash come up more likely than you might expect, such as distancing yourself, or closing the gap against your enemies, trying to reach the sentry before it turns to you, throwing enemies off by literally teleporting somewhere else, escaping stuns, dodging attacks, etc, etc. Dash is more of an escape slash defense type of exploit, and cheats know how to use dash to give you more of an offensive type of advantage. If you can squeeze in 24/6 of speed hack, this also means that you can do that while shooting. And this is called double tap. And oh boy, do I really need to explain what double tap is.
Whoops. Whoopa. I'm sorry, it's fine. My bad, GG.
Just in case you didn't know, if you got that one scout that one taps you with the force of nature, or if you have a heavy that deletes you in a split second, yeah, they're most likely using double tap. It's a pretty straightforward cheat, I don't think it needs a lot of explanation. Other than the fact that these cheats are, again, toggleable, and sometimes you just do realize that you can use double tap even when you're not.
Oh, never mind. I have double tap.
Oh.
There we go. There we go.
Instant delete, bro. 200 damage.
These cheats are pretty easy to detect, but if you really want to make sure if somebody's using dash or double tap, then you're gonna need to spot for these little pauses that they do, usually in mid-air or still in the ground. It's gonna look like they're lagging, but it's just them recharging their double tap. And it doesn't have to be like that though. All you really have to do is just stand still. Allow me to explain what that was. This is called Backtrack. And I don't want to bore you with the nerdy terms, but it's basically just using lag to shoot the past. Yes, that's right, hacks can have time travel now. But how does one come up with the lag to begin with? Well, you fake it. You can make your own lag. Cheats can create fake latency, allowing you to play against the past while still being in the present. It's kind of fucked up, right? Because this will later be so much of an advantage against retreating enemies, since you already know that they're retreating, you just have the time to react and charge up a nice shot on them. If you come across a spy that is face tapping everyone from a billion miles away and claims to just quote unquote be good at using interp, then they're most likely using Backtrack. I'm gonna change music later. Let me just finish what I'm gonna say next. Alright, Backtrack only applies to hit scan weapons. This includes the guns and the knives, and they don't work on projectile weapons, so that's pretty cool. And oh yeah, when you use Backtrack, you're using your aimbot to shoot at the past. But what if you didn't? In this clip, I am cheating. And if you don't believe it, then here. I am using a cheat that's called anti-OBS, a feature that hides my visuals from recording software such as OBS or even Discord screen share. I am also not using any aimbot whatsoever, nor am I using any Triggerbot. I am using what's called legit Backtrack, and it's a cheat that extends my hit window by allowing me to manually shoot at backtrack ticks. And since no aimbot is being used, everything that you see in the screen is what the normal spectator would see. No flicking, and the only suspicious shots you'd see are those that look like lag. Because this is what it is, legit Backtrack is lag. And be on high alert with this one, because this used to only be exclusive to a less well-known and expensive cheat. But a more popular and cheap cheat was successful to implement this. So yeah, you might start seeing these in casual lobbies. But then again, how would you really detect this? Aha, look at this dude, he's fake lagging around, he's so funny, look at him. Yeah, that's called fake lag. It's usually just to throw off your enemy. If someone's lagging around and is playing really good, then they're most likely using fake lag. But if someone's doing that and they're actually lagging, don't call them out. God, I don't know how to put this video together now. Listen, we're talking about anti-aims here. This is basically just HvH stuff. Basically what anti-aim does is they split you in half. You have your player model and you have your actual hitbox. They had to find a way to make aimbot snipers miss, and there's this thing called resolving. Bro, I don't want to talk about HvH, man. But I guess anti-backstab is a thing. Yeah, that's a thing. If you made it this far, thanks for watching, by the way. And look at this cool knife I have. It's awesome, right? Haha, just kidding, it's a fake. We cheaters can have fake hats and crates and everything. And others can't really see it. It's just like a cosmetic thing.